Hi, today we have mechanics instruction that sticks Unit 8 Subject Verb Agreement. So, in any sentence, every sentence, the subject and the verb must agree. So, this is where we kind of slip back into remembering the parts of a sentence. Every sentence must have a subject, every sentence must have a verb. That's from Unit 1, difference between a sentence and a fragment. Now, those subjects and those verbs must agree with each other in number. So a singular verb takes singular subject takes a singular verb, and a plural subject takes a plural verb. And if you've been speaking English all your life, most of the time this is a non-issue because it just sounds really, really wrong when, or very baby-like, if you get the wrong verb. So, um, I go to the store. I will go to the store. Joe and I go to the store. All that is fine. But Joe and I is going to the store. That doesn't sound right. So Joe is going to the store and I am going to the store. But when we go together, we are going to the store. And we just know that because we have been speaking English all our lives. And most of the time, um, it just sounds right or it sounds wrong. But there are a few places where it gets a little trickier. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. So when a subject and a verb get separated, sometimes that distracts our brain a little bit and we choose the wrong verb. So his social status, and the orange words are our subject, his social status, along with his income, is going to take a hit. The along with his income is not part of your subject, it's just an extra. So status is going to take a, is going technically to take a hit. The audience of teenagers is about to go wild. So the teenagers are about to go wild, but that teenagers is not your subject in this sentence because we have um, of teenagers, that's a prepositional phrase. So your subject is audience. You have to match your verb to your subject. And sometimes people think, oh, teenagers are. Teenagers is my subject. But in this sentence, the audience is your subject. So that's what's key about knowing your subject and your verb. So the subject is the audience. Audience is going wild. Same with this next one. A mob is overtaking the streets. A mob of people. If you see ofs, you can just cross that out when you're trying to figure out your verb because it is not part of your subject. It's always extra. Same with flock of birds. So if we're doing the flock is congregating. I should have let you pause there and figure it out yourself. So this is um, the other version of that. So many birds, dash, crows, jays, and an eagle, dash. Notice what I did there with our other unit um, style there. Many birds, ignore this part, are at the dump. So a flock of birds is congregating, but many birds are congregating. So it makes a difference. The of something is a distraction from your subject, not your actual subject. So that's tricky situation number one. Another tricky situation is when you have a compound subject. You have a subject and another subject, and they are compound, and you can tell that because there's the and in there. And so there's two things doing the thing, doing the verb. Therefore, it is a plural subject, even if they look singular. So Joe's motivation and ability, those two things, singular by themselves, but together they're plural, lead him. So you can test that by putting a pronoun in there. They lead him to many opportunities. If there was just one of them, it leads him to many opportunities. So has to agree. They lead, it leads. Gary and I take turns. This is compound subject. We are working together. We take turns. But it's just one person, Sammy, is rude and takes cuts. So he or she, it, put a singular pronoun there to test it, takes. They take, she takes. They live, Gary and Susan live in West Virginia. Lori lives in Michigan. So that's those. When it's names, it's not so tricky, but when it's a descriptor, it gets trickier. My brother's intelligence and confidence, two things, attract. They attract. If it was just his confidence, my brother's confidence attracts with an S. It attracts, they attract. So you can do some testing, but you need to make sure, and especially when it's all drawn out like this first sentence, that you know what your subject is when you pick your verb. Tricky situation number 3. In an either or situation, the verb must agree with the subject nearest the verb. So neither Lisa nor Betty is planning to go to the party. Betty is planning to go to the party. They, if it was both of them, if it was Lisa and Betty, it would be are planning. But it's one or the other, so it's singular, is planning. Either Joe or Gary brings cupcakes. Only one of them, so he brings, singular. Neither the captain nor the co-captain, neither one agrees, so it's singular. They agree, he agrees. So it's just one or the other, not both of them. So that's how you test it. Are they both doing it? Then it's plural. If it's one of them, then it's singular. So neither Leo nor his friends like, ooh, what are we doing here? We have friends like. So this one's a plural word and it comes closest to the verb. So it's still neither he nor they. And so we would take the close one and decide which verb to use. So they like. If we flipped it, neither his friends nor Leo like. The one that comes closest is the one that goes is the one you choose. Last situation, if you have an indefinite pronoun, each, nobody, anybody, where you don't know exactly how many people are involved, it's like not a specific number, but it's a singular word like one or anybody or everyone. It's just one, it's a singular word. So nobody knows the answer. Oops, I forgot to color my verb blue. Nobody knows the answer. Everyone is here. Even though everyone is a lot of people, seems plural, it's not because one is a singular word. So everyone is here. The men, it's a plural noun, are bringing the shovels, but each of the men is bringing a shovel because each is your subject because of the men is extra. Each is bringing a shovel. So, oops, sorry. Going crazy there. Try it yourself. The teacher is attending a meeting. The teacher are attending a meeting. Obviously, it's is. But every one of the teachers is attending the meeting. Because of the teachers is not part of your subject. So everyone is. So those are the tricky situations on how to where sometimes the subject and verb is not an easy fix. I have a couple videos here you can watch to hear it again. If you are in need of that, go ahead and do some practice and then show you know what you're doing. Thank you and have a great day.